Breakneck Blitz. Breakneck Blitz is the normal type Z move, and as the first entry in the Alolan Z move roster, it sets the tone for this generation's defining mechanic. When executed, Breakneck Blitz transforms any normal type move into a full speed rampage that deals massive damage based on the power of the original attack. Even the weakest normal attacks like Tackle gain a power boost to 100, while stronger moves like Hyper Beam can reach an impressive 200 power. The versatility of Breakneck Blitz makes it particularly valuable. Nearly every Pokemon can learn a normal type move, giving trainers flexible access to a guaranteed heavy hitter once per battle. Unexpected Breakneck Blitz users could surprise opponents in competitive play who might be preparing for type-specific strategies. In its animation, the Pokemon charges forward at a near light speed, creating an impact crater upon collision with its unfortunate target. It's like when you tell your pet it's dinner time, suddenly that lazy creature becomes a heat-seeking missile that would trample its own grandmother to reach the food bowl, except this time the food bowl is your opponent's face. All-out pummeling. All-out pummeling transforms any fighting attack into a martial arts spectacle worthy of a championship battle. The animation begins with the user launching the opponent skyward with an uppercut before bombarding them with hundreds of punches and kicks from multiple angles, finally sending them crashing back to Earth with bone-jarring force. Converting even the weakest fighting moves like Karate Chop into 100 power strikes, this Z move can push signature moves like Close Combat to a devastating 190 power. Its super effective coverage against normal, rock, steel, ice, and dark types makes all-out pummeling a versatile offensive option against many defensive Pokemon. Hala's Hariyama demonstrated the move's overwhelming power during Ash's grand trial in the anime, proving that sometimes the best battle strategy is simply punch everything really hard, really fast. Remember that one friend who took exactly 3 martial arts classes and now won't shut up about their deadly hands? Well, all-out pummeling is what would happen if that friend actually had the skills to back up their boasting. A humiliating beatdown that leaves the recipient questioning every life choice that led them to this moment. Supersonic Sky Strike. Turning any aerial attack into a death from above spectacle, Supersonic Sky Strike would make most air forces jealous. During execution, the user carries its opponent into the stratosphere before dive bombing back to Earth at supersonic speeds, creating a massive impact that sends shockwaves across the battlefield. Like other Z moves, it significantly amplifies attack power. Modest flying moves like Peck become 100 power assaults, while heavy hitters like Brave Bird can reach a devastating 190 power. Strategic trainers value this Z move for its effectiveness against fighting, bug, and grass types, often allowing them to eliminate key threats in one decisive strike. Both Ash's Rowlet and Kiowa's Charizard showcased this move's spectacular visual effects in the anime, with the latter using it during the critical Run Heroes Run episode. If you've ever asked a bird to deliver a message, Supersonic Sky Strike is what happens when that bird decides the message is actually several tons of kinetic energy and your opponent's face is the mailbox. The Postal Service wishes it could deliver packages with this much efficiency and destructive force. Acid Downpour. Acid Downpour would make environmental protection agencies have a collective heart attack, transforming any toxic attack into a caustic deluge. A massive cloud of purple acid forms above the opponent before raining down with devastating effect, creating a bubbling purple pool that engulfs the target completely. Basic poison moves like Poison Sting become 100 power attacks under its influence, while stronger moves like Gunk Shot can surge to a devastating 190 power. Strategically, trainers valued this Z move for its effectiveness against fairy types, which emerged as a dominant force in Generation 6, providing a powerful counter to previously unstoppable fairy strategies. Curiously, despite featuring in multiple games and manga appearances, Acid Downpour never actually appeared in the Pokemon anime series, making it one of the few type-based Z moves not to receive animated screen time. This attack is basically what would happen if someone dumped toxic waste into your swimming pool, except with better special effects and a targeting system that ensures the environmental catastrophe is focused entirely on ruining one specific opponent's day rather than the entire ecosystem. Tectonic Rage. There are very few Z moves that can match the geological catastrophe of Tectonic Rage, which would register on seismographs halfway across the globe. Its animation ranks among the most dramatic in the Z-move arsenal. The user drags its opponent underground through a fissure, before navigating through the planet's molten core and eventually erupting back to the surface through a volcanic explosion. Modest ground moves like Mud Slap transform into 100 power Earth Shakers under its influence, while devastating attacks like Earthquake can surge to an incredible 180 power. Competitive trainers prize this Z-move for its effectiveness against electric, fire, poison, rock, and steel types, providing coverage against many common threats. Hapu's Mudsdale showcased Tectonic Rage's earth-shattering potential during the A Grand Debut episode in the anime. Think of that toddler throwing a tantrum in the grocery store, except instead of just screaming and flailing, they somehow managed to crack the Earth's crust, drag their nemesis through the planetary core, and then create a volcanic eruption, all because someone took the last chocolate milk. Only here, the tantrum is tactically deployed against your opponent, rather than randomly destroying the cereal aisle in its entirety. Continental Crush. Continental Crush would make dinosaurs nervous all over again, transforming stone-based attacks into geological extinction events. During its spectacular animation, the user creates a massive floating island of rock overhead, roughly the size of a small continent, before bringing it crashing down with devastating force, leaving nothing but a crater where their opponent once stood. Basic rock moves like Rock Throw become 100 power catastrophes under its influence, while stronger moves like Stone Edge can reach a devastating 180 power. Its effectiveness against flying, bug, fire, and ice types provides excellent coverage against many common threats, making it a strategic choice in competitive battles. Olivia's Lycanroc famously demonstrated this move in the anime, befitting her position as Alola's rock-type kahuna. Brock even created his own romantic variation called Continental Crush on You when assisting Olivia, proving that even devastating Z-moves can be repurposed for incredibly awkward flirting. You know how in arguments some people dramatically drop the mic to make a point? Well, Continental Crush is like dropping your entire rock collection, a small mountain range, and possibly a tectonic plate on your opponent. Excessive, geologically impressive, and guaranteed to end any dispute with a decisive thud. Savage Spinout. Savage Spinout transforms any insect-based attack into an arachnophobe's worst nightmare, rendered in HD. The animation depicts the user spinning a massive cocoon of silk around its opponent at blinding speed, constricting them completely before delivering a final devastating strike that shatters the silken prison. This Z-move pushes modest bug moves like Struggle Bug to 100 power attacks, while signature moves like Bug Buzz can reach an impressive 175 power. Its strategic value comes from effectiveness against grass, psychic, and dark types, providing crucial coverage against some of the game's most powerful Pokémon. In the anime, Guzma's Golisopod demonstrated this move's terrifying potential, fitting for the Team Skull boss's signature bug-type focus. Imagine that overzealous gift wrapper at the department store who uses an entire roll of paper, 17 feet of ribbon, and 43 pieces of tape for a simple bracelet. Now give them silk instead of paper, supernatural speed, and aggressive tendencies. The only difference is that your opponent is the gift being wrapped, and instead of a birthday surprise, they're receiving catastrophic damage packaged in a silken coffin. Never-Ending Nightmare. Never-Ending Nightmare transforms any spectral attack into a psychological horror sequence that would make most film directors jealous. The animation depicts shadowy hands emerging from a dimensional rift beneath the opponent, dragging them down into a purple void before violently ejecting them back to reality. Basic ghost moves like Lick become 100 power terrors under its influence, while powerful attacks like Shadow Ball can reach an impressive 175 power. Its effectiveness against ghost and psychic types provides perfect coverage against many commonly used special attackers and trick room setters, making it a strategic powerhouse. In the anime, Acerola's Mimikyu used this move to devastating effect, appropriate for the ghost-type trial captain. The move's name is particularly fitting, as many opponents on the receiving end likely wish they could wake up from the nightmare of being on the wrong side of this attack. It's like showing someone your vacation slideshow, but instead of boring beach photos, it's a terrifying journey through a dimension of pure darkness that induces actual trauma, and just like those slideshows, it feels like it will never, ever end for the poor soul trapped in the experience. Corkscrew Crash. Corkscrew Crash transforms any metallic attack into an industrial accident that would violate every workplace safety regulation in existence. The animation shows the user transforming into a massive metal drill that spins at incredible speeds, boring through the opponent with such force that even the hardest defenses crumble. Modest steel moves like Metal Claw become 100 power drills under its influence, while stronger moves like Iron Head can reach a formidable 180 power. Its effectiveness against Ice, Rock, and the ever-popular Fairy types provides crucial coverage in the competitive metagame where Fairy Pokemon often dominate. In the anime, Molane's Alolan Duck Trio used this move to showcase its devastating potential. The animation is particularly satisfying with the metallic spiral effect, creating one of the most visually distinct Z moves in the entire catalog. This attack is what happens when someone decides an industrial-grade drill is the appropriate tool to open a letter envelope. Unnecessarily destructive, incredibly loud, and guaranteed to leave a much bigger hole than any reasonable person would ever consider necessary. But hey, at least the envelope is definitely open now. Inferno Overdrive. Inferno Overdrive transforms any flame-based attack into a thermonuclear event that would make firefighters preemptively file their resignation. The animation shows the user creating a massive fireball that expands to engulf the entire battlefield, culminating in an explosion that would make Michael Bay very proud. Basic fire moves like Ember become 100 power conflagrations under its influence, while powerful attacks like Fire Blast can reach a devastating 190 power. Its effectiveness against grass, ice, bug, and steel types provides excellent coverage against many defensive Pokemon. In the anime, Kiawe's Turtonator was the first to demonstrate a Z-move in the Sun and Moon series, using Inferno Overdrive in the very first Alola episode, establishing Z-moves as a central battle mechanic for the region. When your neighbor uses a flamethrower to light their birthday candles, that's just a normal Tuesday for Fire-type Z-move users. The only difference is the scale. While your neighbor might singe their eyebrows, Inferno Overdrive users set off smoke alarms in buildings that don't even exist yet and create heat signatures visible from space. Hydrovortex. Hydrovortex transforms any aquatic attack into a fluid dynamics demonstration that would make physicists question their understanding of water behavior. The animation depicts the user generating a massive water vortex that engulfs the opponent, spinning them around at dizzying speeds before a final impact that disperses the aquatic tornado. Modest water moves like Water Gun become 100 power deluges under its influence, while stronger moves like Hydro Pump can reach an impressive 185 power. Its effectiveness against fire, ground, and rock types provides coverage against many common threats in the competitive metagame. In the anime, Lana's Poplio struggled to master this move initially, showcasing that Z moves require both trainer and Pokemon to be in sync to execute properly. Some people bring a bottle of water to a workout. Hydrovortex users bring an entire Olympic swimming pool and install it directly into their opponent's personal space. The move answers the age-old question, what if we had a water park, but instead of fun slides, we just used the water to violently spin our enemies until they lose consciousness? Bloom Doom. Bloom Doom transforms any plant-based attack into a botanical explosion that would make gardeners simultaneously impressed and horrified. The animation shows the user creating a massive field of flowers that engulfs the entire battlefield in a serene display before the peaceful garden erupts in a blinding flash of energy that belies its gentle appearance. Basic grass moves like Absorb become 100 power garden catastrophes under its influence, while signature moves like Solar Beam can reach a devastating 190 power. Its effectiveness against water, ground, and rock types provides excellent coverage against many defensive Pokemon. In the anime, Malo Sereno used this move to showcase its devastating potential, fitting for the grass-type trial captain. The contrast between the move's beautiful flower field and its subsequent explosive payoff creates one of the most visually striking Z moves in the entire catalog. Imagine giving someone a gorgeous bouquet that then explodes in their face. Simultaneously thoughtful and destructive, Bloom Doom masterfully combines the world's love of flowers with its equal appreciation for massive explosions, all packaged in a deceptively pretty wrapper. Gigavolt Havoc. Gigavolt Havoc is the electric-type Z-move transforming any electrical attack into a power surge that would make utility companies file for bankruptcy from the overload. When activating this move, trainers perform a series of energetic lightning-inspired movements before their Pokémon channels enough electricity to power a small city. The attack animation shows the user generating a massive sphere of electrical energy that expands to engulf the opponent before firing a concentrated lightning bolt that could rival nature's most powerful attacks. Following the standard Z-move power calculation, Gigavolt Havoc turns modest electric moves like Thundershock into 100 power surges, while devastating attacks like Thunder can reach an impressive 185 power. What makes this Z-move particularly strategic is its effectiveness against water and flying types, providing crucial coverage against common threats in the competitive metagame. In the anime, Ash's Pikachu was the first protagonist Pokemon to use a Z-move, employing Gigavolt Havoc in the Guardians Challenge. This Z-move holds special significance as it later evolved into Pikachu's exclusive Z-move, 10 million volt Thunderbolt, when paired with the special Pikachunium Z. It's essentially the Pokemon equivalent of plugging too many Christmas lights into a single outlet. Spectacular to witness, devastating in effect, and guaranteed to leave someone shocked by the outcome. Shattered Psyche. Shattered Psyche is the Psychic-type Z-move, transforming any mental attack into a reality-bending sequence that would make Salvador Dali question his own sanity. When activating this move, trainers perform a series of mind-expanding gestures before their Pokemon literally breaks the law of physics. The attack animation shows the user shattering reality itself into crystalline fragments, suspending the opponent in a zero-gravity dimension where they're repeatedly slammed into the broken shards of space-time before reality reconstitutes with the opponent significantly worse for wear. Following the standard Z-move power calculation, Shattered Psyche turns basic psychic moves like Confusion into 100 power Mind Breakers, while powerful attacks like Psychic can reach an impressive 175 power. What makes this Z-move particularly valuable is its effectiveness against fighting and poison types, providing strategic coverage against many physical attackers. Despite its impressive visual effects, Shattered Psyche is one of the few type-based Z-moves that never actually appeared in the Pokemon anime series, depriving viewers of what would surely have been a spectacular animation sequence. It's essentially the Pokemon equivalent of explaining a complex philosophical concept to someone by repeatedly hitting them with a physics textbook. Confusing, painful, and likely to leave them questioning fundamental aspects of their own existence. Sub-Zero Slammer. Sub-Zero Slammer is the Ice-type Z-move, transforming any freezing attack into a flash freeze catastrophe that would make climate scientists revise their models for the next ice age. When activating this move, trainers perform a series of chilling, frost-inspired movements before their Pokemon channels its inner Arctic blast. The attack animation shows the user generating a massive ice crystal that grows exponentially, completely encasing the opponent before shattering with explosive force that sends ice shards in all directions. Following the standard Z-move power calculation, Sub-Zero Slammer turns modest ice moves like Icy Wind into 100 power freeze-outs, while devastating attacks like Blizzard can reach an impressive 185 power. What makes this Z-move particularly strategic is its effectiveness against grass, ground, flying, and dragon types, providing excellent coverage against many commonly used Pokemon. In the competitive scene, Sub-Zero Slammer gave Ice-type attacks a much-needed boost, as the type is generally considered offensively strong but defensively vulnerable. Lily's Alolan Vulpix, named Snowy, used this move in the anime, showing that even the most reserved trainers could harness Z-power when properly motivated. It's essentially the Pokemon equivalent of turning the air conditioner to maximum during winter, unnecessary, excessive, and guaranteed to leave everyone in the vicinity questioning your temperature preferences while they shiver uncontrollably. Devastating Drake. Devastating Drake is the Dragon-type Z-move, transforming any draconic attack into a mythological disaster that would make medieval bards compose epic poems on the spot. When activating this move, trainers perform a series of powerful serpentine arm movements before their Pokemon channels its inner legendary beast. The attack animation shows the user creating an energy construct of a massive dragon that flies across the battlefield before crashing into the opponent with world-ending force. Following the standard Z-move power calculation, Devastating Drake turns basic dragon moves like Dragon Rage into 100 power catastrophes, while powerful attacks like Draco Meteor can reach an impressive 185 power. What makes this Z move particularly strategic is its effectiveness against other dragon types, allowing dragon Pokemon to deal super effective damage to their own kind in the classic dragon slaying tradition. In the anime, Gladion's Lycanroc surprisingly used this move via Dragonium Z despite not being a dragon type, showcasing the versatility of Z moves when paired with Pokemon that have cross-type movesets. The animation is particularly majestic, with the Energy Dragon creating one of the most visually impressive Z moves in the entire catalog. It's essentially the Pokemon equivalent of bringing a medieval siege weapon to a playground argument. Excessive, historically inspired, and guaranteed to leave a lasting impression on everyone involved. Black Hole Eclipse. Black Hole Eclipse is the Dark-type Z move, transforming any shadowy attack into an astrophysical phenomenon that would make NASA scientists reconsider their career choices. When activating this move, trainers perform a series of ominous, shadow-gathering movements before their Pokemon tears open the fabric of space itself. The attack animation shows the user creating a genuine, gravity-defying black hole that slowly grows to consume the opponent, briefly removing them from existence before violently ejecting them back to reality. Following the standard Z move power calculation, Black Hole Eclipse turns modest dark moves like Bite into 100 power cosmic disasters, while powerful attacks like Dark Pulse can reach an impressive 175 power. What makes this Z move particularly strategic is its effectiveness against Ghost and Psychic types, providing perfect coverage against many commonly used special attackers. In the anime, Nanu's Alolan Persian used this move, fitting for the Dark-type Kahuna known for his nihilistic personality. The animation is really unsettling, with the gravitational singularity creating one of the most scientifically questionable yet visually distinct Z moves in the entire catalog. It's essentially the Pokemon equivalent of responding to a minor slight by creating a cosmic catastrophe that briefly violates the laws of physics. Dramatic, potentially universe-threatening, and definitely an overreaction to whatever your opponent just did. Twinkle Tackle. Twinkle Tackle is the Fairy-type Z move, transforming any enchanted attack into a pastel wonderland that's simultaneously adorable and absolutely devastating. When activating this move, trainers perform a series of charming, star-strewn movements before their Pokemon channels its inner childhood fantasy. The attack animation shows the user transforming the battlefield into a colorful, star-filled dimension reminiscent of a child's storybook, before the saccharine scenery turns sinister as the opponent is violently bounced between giant stars like a cosmic pinball. Following the standard Z move power calculation, Twinkle Tackle turns modest fairy moves like Fairy Wind into 100 power sparkly disasters, while signature moves like Moon Blast can reach an impressive 175 power. What makes this Z move particularly valuable is its effectiveness against fighting, dark, and especially dragon types, providing crucial coverage against many of the game's most powerful Pokemon. Despite its significance as the Z move for the relatively new Fairy type, Twinkle Tackle never actually appeared in the Pokemon anime series, depriving viewers of what surely would have been a visually distinctive sequence. It's essentially the Pokemon equivalent of being beaten into submission with a glitter-covered teddy bear, humiliating, surprisingly painful, and guaranteed to leave both physical and emotional scars that sparkle under the right lighting. Z moves represent one of Pokemon's most visually spectacular battle mechanics, transforming ordinary moves into cinematic sequences worthy of a blockbuster film. While they only lasted for one generation before being replaced by Dynamaxing in Galar, these Alolan special techniques left an indelible mark on the franchise. The system offered perfect balance, powerful enough to turn battles with a well-timed execution, but limited to once per battle to prevent overuse. Each type received equal representation with standardized power calculations, creating a surprisingly balanced addition to competitive play. The choreographed poses performed by trainers added a physical, almost ritual element to Pokemon battles that had never been seen before, creating a genuine connection between trainer and Pokemon that embodied the spirit of the Alola region. Beyond the 18 type-based Z moves, the system expanded to include exclusive Z moves for specific Pokemon, from Pikachu's iconic 10 million volt Thunderbolt to Snorlax's humorously named Pulverizing Pancake. These signature moves added personality and specialization to certain Pokemon, creating memorable moments in both gameplay and anime appearances. Though Z moves may have been sunset in favor of new battle mechanics, Their legacy lives on in the hearts of trainers who experienced the thrill of unleashing these ultimate attacks during Pokemon's 7th generation. And that's every type-based Z-move explained. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Alola's ultimate techniques, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into Pokemon mechanics. Until next time, keep your Z crystals polished and your poses practiced. You never know when you might need to unleash your full Z power.